Yeah, and I want to get into some of that training you do in your backyard and what you do in the pool a little bit later. What's the longest you've gone without surfing, and how does it make you feel when you're not there? And what do you say to all the people who don't have access to the ocean? You know, what do they do? Are they going crazy? Do you think?
Well, I think we're missing a piece. I think if you don't have a relationship with the water, that if you're not able to be in the water, I mean, listen, we shower multiple times a day. We're in bathtubs. I mean, we drink it. Without it, I mean, next to air, water is one of the keys to existence. I mean, without water, there's no life, and so. That's how deep our connection. So if you don't have some sort of relationship with it, I mean, one of our greatest innate fears is fear of drowning, and it's because again, the relationship that we have with water goes so deep into our primal being that you're missing out. You're missing out one of the you're missing out on one of the magic things. Like flying. Like if you never flew in a plane and never experienced a sensation of flying, you kind of need to experience a sensation of being in the water, on the water, and around the water. And a world without water for me would be, it would actually be a world without life. I mean, when we look around for places with life, we're looking for water. But I mean, I'm fortunate to have developed a relationship, and I grew up at the sea. So it's one of those things that you take for granted. But, I've had times when I've been away. I never go too long without being in the water. And I've gotten better at it because I've started to understand my need for it. So I'm able to subsidize it. I'm able to kind of like, okay, well, I'm not going to, or it's just not inviting me. So I have other ways of getting in the water and being around water. And so it doesn't, but when I was younger, I mean, within a day or two, I would always say the gills dry out, my longest periods of time without being in the water were really around injury. So I was really like, you get a severe injury and then you can't go in the ocean. I'd cut my casts off and I'd do anything I could to get back in the water. Sometimes that would, kind of, slow down the healing, and you learn your lessons. You learn your lessons about that stuff. And, I think for me, when I do go through a long period of time when I'm not able to be in the water, that almost fuels my passion and my love. It's a little bit like fasting or something where you just really savor it and appreciate it. It seems we, the humans, when we take things for granted, when you have it every day and it's always there, you just kind of don't appreciate it like you should. And I'll sometimes self-induce that. Like, I put myself in California in the summertime, and the ocean isn't quite as inviting as obviously the middle of the Pacific in Hawaii, where it's one of the most treacherous, but one of the most inviting oceans in the world. So it's almost like I hold myself back, and then I'm able to come into it, with full passion and vigor that, like you would in off season, like in your sport. You don't play a sport all year round and then think, well, I'm going to have the World Cup right now. They prolong that stuff every 4 years just so there's an anticipation and a build up. And I've started to learn how to kind of self-impose that stuff.